Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel where I talk about weapons from movies and video games, comparing what we see on our screens with real-life examples. In this video, we'll discuss a pistol that was capable of destroying even a tank. How was it created, who used it, and how powerful were its armor-piercing capabilities? Interested in finding out all this? Then watch the video to the end and be sure to give it a like. Let's start with the history of this weapon's creation. In 1942, German gunsmiths developed a special combat pistol called the Kampfpistole, based on the Walther signal pistol design. The distinguishing feature from ordinary pistols was that this pistol fired grenades. The grenade itself was intended for combating enemy personnel at distances up to 200 meters, with a fragmentation radius of about 20 meters at that time. The grenade was designed so you could simply insert it into the pistol and fire. Thanks to helical protrusions on the grenade's body, it gained rotational movement upon firing, which helped improve the weapon's accuracy. The high production cost of the new weapon, which used expensive lightweight metals in its construction, and the inability to fire other specialized and pyrotechnic ammunition led German arms firms to cease production of the Kampfpistole combat pistols. However, the idea was not forgotten, and German gunsmiths found a rather quick solution to the situation. The same signal pistol was fitted with a rifled insert barrel, allowing it to fire grenades with pre-made rifling, as well as fragmentation grenades and signal and illumination cartridges. They didn't spend much time thinking up a new name for the weapon and called it Sturmpistole, or assault pistol. From 1943 to 1945, the German arms industry produced over 400,000 insert barrels or liners for converting signal pistols into assault pistols. In simple terms, the Sturmpistole was the same Kampfpistole, but with a new barrel sleeve. Now, let's look at its characteristics and what this pistol was capable of. The pistol's design was quite simple. You just inserted a grenade into the pistol, pulled the trigger, which in turn pulled the hammer that struck the grenade's casing and launched it into the air. The weight of such a pistol was around 2.5 kilograms without the grenade. To improve stability during firing and increase shooting accuracy, the German Army's assault pistol had a folding shoulder stock attached to its handle, and a sight attachment designed for 200 meters was fitted onto the barrel. By the way, it's not entirely clear how convenient it was to carry such a pistol, since the pistol itself was quite small, but once you attached the stock, added the sight, and inserted the grenade, it turned into quite a large rocket launcher. While the Soviet troops at that time tried to make all their weapons as simple and easy to produce as possible, it's unclear why Nazi Germany did the opposite. Almost forgot to tell you about the grenades themselves. Let's start with the fact that it usually fired anti-personnel grenades weighing around 130 grams, called the 326 LP. This grenade had a fragmentation radius of 30 meters and was generally light and easy to handle. But as you might have guessed, there were problems. First, it was forbidden to fire this grenade closer than 50 meters because fragments could reach the shooter. Second, the grenade was ineffective when firing on soft ground because the warhead was located at the tip of the grenade. Consequently, the grenade would vertically penetrate the ground and most of the fragments would remain there. Therefore, such grenades were used in extreme cases, for example, if the shooter was being pursued by a group of enemy soldiers. Moreover, this pistol also fired anti-tank charges called Panzerwurfkörper 42. Just one such projectile weighed 600 grams and was capable of penetrating up to 8 centimeters of armor, which is quite an impressive result for a regular pistol. It becomes clear why this pistol needed a stock, otherwise the grenade would outweigh the barrel, making it impossible to aim. However, the problem was that due to the heavy weight of the projectile, it could fly only up to a maximum of 69 meters. This meant that for a soldier to hit any enemy equipment, he needed to be practically point blank with his target. And when it comes to a tank coming at you, a maximum range of 69 meters doesn't sound very optimistic. Yes, at that time, it could damage some tanks, but if you try now to penetrate modern armor with such a projectile, you will most likely just leave a scratch. During World War II, various countries developed anti-tank rifles, or ATR, to combat enemy armored vehicles. One such weapon was the British Boys anti-tank rifle, named after Captain Henry Boys, who led its development. Adopted into service in 1937, The Boys rifle had a caliber of 13.9mm and weighed around 16 kilograms. It was equipped with a 5-round magazine and had an effective firing range of up to 300 meters. The rifle used armor-piercing ammunition capable of penetrating up to 21mm of armor at a distance of 100 meters. In the early stages of war, the Boys rifle was effective against light tanks and armored vehicles. However, with the emergence of heavier armor, its effectiveness decreased. Soldiers noted its strong recoil and loud firing noise, which made it challenging to use. Despite these drawbacks, it was widely used by British and Allied forces, including Canadian and Australian units. Overall, the Boys anti-tank rifle played an important role in infantry arsenals during the early stages of war, but quickly became obsolete with advancements in tank armor, leading to the development of more powerful anti-tank weapons. Now it's time to find out whether the weapon is accurately represented in various games. First, let's look at Sturmpistole in the game Enlisted. There, it is one of the secondary weapons and fires those very anti-tank grenades. The pistol in the game is called the same as in reality and looks almost identical. When you fire at a tank, information is displayed in the corner of the screen about which part of the tank you damaged and whether the explosion penetrated inside, so in the game, this weapon penetrates armor quite well. As for the firing range, the developers didn't exaggerate the weapon's capabilities and it is approximately the same 70 meters. But one thing is unclear, how players managed to kill regular infantry with the anti-tank grenade. After all, the principle of operation of an anti-tank grenade differs from a fragmentation one, and instead of exploding in all directions, it uses a cumulative charge that directs all the explosion's energy into one small point. So, if you shoot such a grenade at a person's feet, most of the explosive energy will go into the ground. Yes, theoretically, you could also take damage from such a grenade, but it was designed for other purposes. This weapon can also be found in the game World War Heroes, but there's one thing, it's a mobile game and it looks quite decent. Maybe the situation is better there. Well, to begin with, in this game you have a choice of two types of ammunition, anti-personnel or anti-tank. Structurally, the weapon looks like it does in reality, but the way the grenade explosion looks is concerning. In reality, the explosion of any fragmentation grenade doesn't look like a fire show. Usually, there's just a loud bang and fragments fly out, but in the game, when a small grenade explodes, flames rise 2 meters up, which doesn't quite correspond to reality. And yes, it's understandable that this is done for the convenience of the players so that it's clear where the grenade lands and that it had landed at all, but such explosions have nothing to do with the reality. Otherwise, the game is fine. I mean, you can't damage equipment with a fragmentation grenade, and anti-tank grenades deal less damage to regular infantry. Therefore, even though it's a mobile game, for some reason, they paid a bit more attention to such details than in other PC games. Well, let me know in the comments in which other games have you encountered this pistol.